Hi, this is Lucy, and thanks for joining me today. I'm doing a different shaped card today. It's very, very easy. So, this is just an A4 sheet of paper, 300 GSM, and I've cut it more or less in, or folded it more or less into 10 centimeter parts, and then one of them I've actually folded over again so that you have a sitting card. I'm not actually sure what this is called. So I've got some really old boys' papers here, and I'm just grabbing a few. I'm overwhelmed if I sometimes get the whole kit in front of me, so I just choose a few and then work from there. So I really like that wooden paper, kind of a chevron design, and the coloured chevron design one as well. I think that'll look nice together. So I've just die cut that one, and I cut the bottom off it. And this part I did the same again. I die cut it, and then I just cut it roughly, and now I'll make sure that it sits nicely on the bottom of the card. So I'm just looking for another piece of designer paper, and I really like this COGS one, so I'll die cut that smaller, but I feel like it needs a border, so I'm going to sort of have a little look and see what colour suits best. Normally a white would look nice, but because it looks crisp and fresh, but it just didn't quite stand out that much, and I felt like the orange looked quite nice. So now I've got these beautiful outfit dies from Uniquely Creative, and they're just fabulous. They have the outside as well as the inside, so you can use it by itself, like just the letters, or you can use the outlines as well. So I'll be using both today. It just really makes it stand out. And on a boy's card, I think these letters are just so cool because they're a little bit sporty like, aren't they? Kind of like the football jackets. Anyway, so I've got some magic tape there, and I don't recommend it at all. It's okay when I'm using it for say a rectangle die, but with all of this it actually cut through, and so it took me about a good 5 or 10 minutes just to take every little piece off these die cuts. So yeah, in the end I used this big fat washi tape, and it came off beautifully and didn't affect the letters at all. So now I'm just going to undo them all and sit them separately, and that way I can inlay each one and see. I only do the B and the L before deciding which looks best on the card. I want to make sure that it stands out, so I'll just do a couple of the letters, put them on the card to see which one I like best. And I decide that for the bottom of the card, I think that the red outline suits best because there's no red in that piece of pattern paper, and so it just highlights it a little bit more, whereas that blue is in there. So I'm just putting down the front letter and the back letter, and then when I put the others down just ski whiff, I decided I kind of like that style for it, so I just put them down a little bit uneven, and then they're done. Now I'm trying to find what to do for the background, just playing around with my die cuts to see, and I quite like the tag and this star die, both from Uniquely Creative again. I do have a lot of their products because I am on their design team, and they're my favourite dies to go to as well. They're just great. So this star die, you'll see it has about 6 different layers to it when it cuts it out, so I'm going to cut it out of a few sheets of paper. And the tag I ended up die cutting twice as well so that I could overlap them and just have a little bit of the orange one peeking out. So I'm going to use some scrap paper rather than foam tape. One, it's cheaper, and two, I'm helping the environment, and I love to get rid of all this extra scrap paper sometimes as well. So it doesn't have to be perfect underneath it. I don't die cut it, I just cut roughly. So now I'm just going to add, see how all these stars, that's how it cuts it all out in this die cut. It's just, yeah, it's great. So I'm having a look to see, and I make sure that I have a happy in the orange and birthday in the brown, because I didn't have any peas in the brown, so that made my choice easier on what colours, which ones to do. But of course, once I put all of this down, it doesn't quite work with where I was going to put the star over the tag top on the left hand side. So now I'm going to glue down the tag, and I'll change up the stars a little bit. So I'll put one there, and I'll put one on this side. And when you close up the card, you can still see most of the happy birthday. You don't need to see it all, because, you know, as long as people can see a lot of it, everyone knows what else it's going to say. So I felt like the star needed just a little star in the middle as well. So I'm just putting one of the stickers on there. And then on the tag, it seemed a little empty down the bottom. So I'm just having a little look on the sticker sheet here, and I decide on a little arrow. So I'm just going to glue that down, because although it's sticky, you know, it's got a high chance of maybe falling off, seeing as this is quite an old set as well. So I'm just going around just to define some of these items on the card with my black pen. It's a 0.3 nib, so it's quite thin and not too bulky. So I add one more arrow as well, and then the card's done. I hope you've enjoyed watching it and got an idea on what an easy type of card this is to do. Have a great day.